Monster on the run. Oh, yeah. Impeccable timing as always. Welcome back to the Internet Dad Show. I'm Jason. That's Deacon, and today is finally Friday. Finally Friday. We're gonna see what's going on in the world. Beak.
Yeah.
We had some bad news this week.
A couple of bad news. Yes, we did. Which one
was more about? I have to say, I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm a fan in any real respect of either of the two kind of like big people that we lost this week. But I didn't dislike them. I just wasn't. I was never a wrestling fan, and I was never a. What would you say? What kind of Black Sabbath
metal.
Was like metal? Yeah,
rock.
Never really. However, I also will absolutely acknowledge the cultural, like
impact
milestones. That yes, yeah, absolutely. Even though I wasn't a wrestling fan. I absolutely saw the Hulk Hogan cartoon. I saw Hulk Hogan and all kinds of things. I even watched him like on TV back in the 80s a few times. And
so as someone that didn't follow all that, you obviously have shown your respect for both. What about Ozzy? I mean, what?
Same. Okay. So obviously like everybody in the planet knows the song Crazy Train. So for sure, I'm familiar with that song. And I would say that, however, I will say regarding Ozzy Osbourne, my most familiarity with him was in the early 2000s, maybe 2010 era. There was a show on TV called The Osbournes.
That was the early 2000s, yeah.
Yeah, and I watched tons of that. I thought it was an incredibly fascinating family.
But did you know anything about Ozzy Osbourne in his early 20s and through Black Sabbath and after Black Sabbath and his solo career and Randy Rhoads and any didn't know like any of the music?
I don't know any of that stuff. I figured he was like a road running rock star, sewing.
His name is John.
Yeah, I found that out.
The regular guy's name is John, but he has a character named Ozzy.
Yeah.
And Ozzy was a crazy person because as a kid, he had to act like, to entertain people, and he just kind of kept that on stage. And a lot of them have that. Alice Cooper, a lot of them do the same thing.
Sure. It's an act. It is an act. Props to keeping an act up for your entire
as a 30-year DJ and a music person my entire life, and someone that has watched wrestling since the 80s, and I didn't for a while in the 2000s because you get older and whatnot, and I try to watch Monday Night Raw now, but if I miss it, and I don't catch up.
I don't even know what it's called now. Is it it used to be WWF, right? And it
used to be the World Wrestling Federation, and then when .coms came into being, the World Wildlife Foundation wanted WWF.com, and they sued, and because it was a big worldwide government that they won, and so WWF turned into WWE, and they have erased all the logos of WWF from everywhere.
Okay.
So I watched that. Speaking on Hulk Hogan, I kind of have a jaded outlook on him.
Okay.
Like you said, he was a cultural phenomenon, and to my kids, or to me as a kid, he was he was a big thing. That was Hulk Hogan, rocking wrestling and the cartoon and watching wrestling and had the dolls and did all this and old brother and ripping your shirt apart. And it was Hulk Hogan. It was the greatest.
Right.
Then as you get older, you find out that I found out, because I like this stuff and am interested in wrestling, that, behind the scenes, he was an asshole. He didn't sell the moves for the guys. He didn't help the guys.
Is that right?
There are tons of videos that show how Hulk Hogan did not sell the moves he did not like to help the younger guys and take the fall. He was Hulk Hogan. He wasn't taking the fall. It didn't matter what you did. The classic one was the Undertaker grabs and does the choke slam, and he just stands right back up. You know, it's like, what, dude? You're not selling it at all. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, so he was but in his later years, he became a Christian. He got saved. He got baptized,
Right.
and he did this not too long ago. Um, the same with Ozzy Osbourne. The self-proclaimed Prince of Darkness was in his later years was a very big Christian. He
Oh,
found
really?
Jesus.
That's amazing.
He was he was very loving about his whole family. Jack, Kelly, they all. I watched a video where he had said in an interview somewhere that he was trying to read the Bible and he just couldn't understand it. And so this person gave him a modern translation Bible, and Ozzy was like, "I'm not going to be able to read it. I don't understand." They were like, "Just read it." And he just opened a chapter and read, and he was like, "Oh my God, I can understand this." So they said he took that Bible with him everywhere. They said there was a place where they had been and they had left, and he made the limousine turn around so that they could go back in because he had forgotten the Bible. He wanted his Bible. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So it's really awesome that, I mean, he went through all that crazy and drug years and with a band called Black Sabbath. And, he was the Prince of Darkness and had the whole the bat incident was, who knows if it was accidental or not. They always say it was,
right.
Knowing him, it probably wasn't. So it's good that they find the light.
That tells the story of like, you are not one thing your whole life. You can change or be changed. You can have a story that goes from the very lows. I mean, look, a rock star life is an exaggerated life. It's a
fake life.
It's not fake and it's big and it's show. But you can go through a life where that's your life, but you can be redeemed. You can be changed. You do not have to live the rest of your life as bad as you have lived it up to this point. That's an amazing story. When I watched the Osbourne's TV show, I always thought like, okay, he's a rock and roll star, but he's a dad, and he's got everything that was wild about him attracted wild and ferocious wife, and created kind of wild and ferocious kids. And in their teenage young adult years, I mean, he was trying to be a good dad, I thought.
See, and that's what's great about like that whole family, I think, for like our age, is because we grew up knowing Black Sabbath from, the 70s and 80s when we were younger. They were already established, and Ozzy Osbourne, Crazy Train, Mama, I'm Coming Home, and whatnot. And then in the early 2000s, we get to see about, maybe a little bit, he was like 20 years older than us. He's like 20, 30 years older than us. So we got to see him be a dad with these kids. His kids were probably a little younger than us because they're parents now, with young children. Yeah. And we got to see them. We got to see the back, but you get to learn about like his wife. She's been with him from the very beginning,
decades.
And she has been with him through all the bad, all the good, saved his life. And so that's kind of like you get to see this great family that was like a crazy metal family, but they ended up being all pretty much okay. They're a family that's got problems and yell at each other and scream and stuff like every family.
And like I always thought like, oh, she's a ruthless business person, and she is like severe and hard.
She was just trying to take care of a kid named Ozzy Osbourne. She knew what to do. Like,
no, I think she's tough as nails. That was my read on her is like, that chick is tough as nails. But
she
doesn't mean you don't have a heart for the people you care about.
Right.
So anyway,
they said she was very adamant about him not doing that final show.
Oh, really?
When he started planning for it a couple of years ago, they said she absolutely did not want him to do it, that she's always been in the audience. That show, she was on the stage. Ozzy, they made a special chair that he sat in that they strapped him down in so that he could not stand up. They did not want him standing up because he got, and he's got Parkinson's and he would have fell.
Yeah.
They were like, nope, you're getting straight. And at the end of the show, at the end of that big show they just did, you can see his lips and you can easily read his lips. He says, "Get me out of this fucking chair."
Mm.
And he was, because he was strapped in. They had him because they did not want him getting up, and you could tell he was wanting to get up. And Ozzy's got a lot of energy. He always ran around the stage, and he wanted to do it. You could feel it, man.
Yeah, you want to do the show. You want to have the magic one more time.
Yeah, and Tommy Iommi, the guitarist for Black Sabbath, said that in an interview the other day. He said that he thought that Ozzy he wanted to do that show so bad, his one final goodbye. That they said they think that he was in bad health all through rehearsals and doing all this, and like we think he hung on just to do the show. Like that's kind of, if you're looking at it from a rock star storyteller standpoint, one of the biggest rock gods on the planet, and he does one final show as he's dying and dies 2 weeks later. That's a storybook ending, man. I would write that as a storybook ending.
Okay, so the song that I saw him singing in that chair was "Mama, I'm Coming Home."
Yeah, it was the last song.
So do you think, I mean, this is speculation, there's no way to know. Do you think that for him in that chair, in that moment, did that song have a different connotation?
It was placed in the set list to be that. Exactly. It was placed at the very end to give that connotation that you're "Mama, I'm coming home."
I'm actually coming home.
I've had many conversations with music artists, these local music artists, about set lists. You think the band just goes up there and play? No. There is an art to the songs and what they play and whatnot. You don't want your damn guitarist changing guitars every freaking other song because this song's in D and this song's in freaking drop D. You want to play, okay, how many of our songs are in D? All right, we're putting all those together. Where's the Pig Peppy? Me and my brother used to guess when we would go to Fish shows, what do you think they're going to open with? What song are they going to open with? Because it's not going to be a slow one. It's going to be a peppy one. What do you think the closers and the encores are going to be? So there's an art to a set list. So yeah, "Mama Coming Home" was absolutely placed as the last song.
Well,
and do you know who the third one was that died?
No,
because they all come in threes.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that in the server. I was like, oh gosh, they come in threes. So who's the third?
Can you hear that?
Yes, I can hear that. What's up, honey? Oh, thank you, sweetheart.
We're gonna get struck down.
Oh yeah.
Pause it.
Hang on. Hey. So, let me put you on screen.
I was gonna say, like, they're gonna see my eyebrows.
Here. I'll stand with
I always love going to Hobbiton. Hello there.
You're not in Texas. I'm doing a new one.
I know. I'm sorry.
So this week,
I'm not that short. The kid's like 6.5 feet tall.
It looks like he's got the camera.
I'm almost normal height
9 feet.
for a woman.
All right. So this week, Hulk
Hogan,
Ozzy Osbourne,
and Theo.
Oh, Theo, Malcolm Jamal Warner. There's a fourth one. Oh my gosh,
Theo too.
Yeah, I know. Somebody in my front office was like, they come in threes when Hulk.
That's what we were just saying. Mm-hmm. So Deke had a different three, but I think Malcolm Jamal. Yeah,
there's a fourth one, but this one don't. Malcolm Jamal Warner is much more popular than this one. So in my mind, I forgot about him. So in my mind,
90s people, in my opinion, too.
Oh, yeah. This one is a 70s guy.
I was telling Deacon earlier.
I wasn't born in the 70s.
You remember this song? Chuck Mangione. He was an instrumentalist.
I don't know who that is.
This is good 70s jazz, JJ.
I wasn't born in the 70s, dude.
I know I'm old. JJ, you were born in 78, weren't you?
Yeah, you were 70s, baby.
All right. Well, anyway, so
was Grammy born that year? That's what our kids like to ask.
So I was telling Deke that back in the early 2000s, we watched the Osbournes, and that's really the only that was really the only
They weren't perfect parents. The thing about the Osbournes that got me was, like, in Hollywood, people don't flip and stay married.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what
And,
we
like,
just talked about.
my heart has been breaking for Sharon Osbourne. She loved him.
She was a very
She
yeah,
was
that's
devoted to him.
very
They did
devoted
hard things
wife.
together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Decades.
And
When
that's
you
what
start doing hard stuff with someone else, that's when you get a divorce.
And Deke was
That's what
talking about in his later years, Ozzy Osbourne became a Christian and he wouldn't
Oh,
go
did he?
anywhere without this Bible. He had a modern translation that he could actually read because he didn't get any of the
Yeah,
old
yeah,
English
yeah.
stuff, but like nobody does.
I
Everybody
didn't know
pretends they
that.
do.
I didn't
Yeah,
know that at
I
all.
didn't either until I saw it, and it said that I saw this video, and it was the guy that knew Ozzy and had given him the Bible. He said I had heard after Ozzy became a Christian, he was given a podcast interview, and he was like, I try to read the Bible and I don't understand all those words, so he gave him a new modern translation. And Ozzy at first was like, I'm not going to be able to read that. I've tried, and he opened it up, and he was like, oh my God, I can read this and I can understand it. So
Probably
he kept it. And I was telling JJ, he said he even at one point he was at this big thing and they left and he was way down the road and remembered that he had forgotten his Bible and made them turn around the limo to just go back and get his Bible because he didn't want to.
Awesome.
He carried it everywhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's someone who loves the word.
Yeah.
And we got to see his kids grow up, and we got to see the parenting from the Osbournes, and then we get to see nowadays with them and their children, Ozzy's grandchildren. And it's like you said, in Hollywood, nobody ever stayed together, but you saw this family that fought and screamed at each other, but they loved each other. And decades later, they all still love each other. They're still together. Their children have good families. It's like, man, that's great.
Did you watch the episode where Sharon and Ozzy got plastic surgery?
I don't remember that.
And when they came back, the kids were really upset because it was like, plastic surgery significantly changes kind of how you look and whatnot. It's not just like they got a little thing. Like they were
like
bandaged up.
Or something.
And the kids were so... Like, it was just more than the kids had thought it was going to be. The kids were even kind of older because I remember the oldest boy when Ozzy was teaching him to drive. That was, that was kind of
a teenager.
But the kids were really upset, like genuinely. And Ozzy sent all the camera crew away. He's like, my kids are upset. That's it. Tap. You can come back tomorrow, but we're going to work through this as a family because they're upset because of something they knew we were going to do. It wasn't like a surprise.
Yeah.
It was, he told them they were doing it, he prepared them. But when it got there, it was more than they could emotionally handle their parents looking slightly different.
Those are the kind of moments that are like, showbiz doesn't matter. My family matters. And when you see that exposed, that was amazing.
Yeah. So whatever, I don't know. My heart breaks for Sharon.
Yeah.
All
right. Okay.
That's funny though. I mean, us as adults, we don't look at ourselves the way that our children look at us, because I mean, on that same vein, we were out to dinner one night and the topic came up of those hair implants, the new ones that really look real. They put all that stuff and they comb it and they glue it and you can get it. I mean, it's there for a long time. And I told Ashley and Kendra and them, and I was like, man, if that wasn't super expensive, I would straight up get hair. And then they were like, really? And I'm like, absolutely. I said, I'd have hair again. I said, I miss having hair. I would have hair again. And my daughter looks at me and she wasn't sad or anything. She just goes, I wouldn't know you with hair. And it was just kind of like, wow, you've known me your entire life and I've looked like this.
Yeah.
You don't look at me the way that I see myself in my mind's eye.
Right.
You don't.
My kids were, I started growing this beard in 2020, which is like when my kids were like a year and 2 years old. They have no memory of me not having a beard.
Yeah.
No. So if I go and shave, and they are like, they think it's funny sometimes. They're like, "Oh, Daddy, shave," and then we'll see. They have no idea they wouldn't recognize me.
They wouldn't recognize you. Have you not seen those videos of the guys shaving their beards and showing their kids?
And then
all their kids are crying and bawling and scared of their dads. That's bad. That's a terrible feeling for a dad.
All right, so we got some news. Some other news. So wow, I forgot about Malcolm. Sorry, Malcolm, man. So Malcolm, Ozzy, and Hulk Hogan this week. And also Chuck. But I mean, I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he was one that I was like, oh, okay, that's the third. But I forgot about Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Speaking of shaving, Do Good said earlier Look who shaved. Good morning, gents. He said good morning, and also born in the 70s. We're the best. True. It's true. Okay, so here's some news. Do you remember, Deke, when we were talking about the Zizian cult?
Unfortunately, I didn't until you just brought it up again.
It was sort of in the Flash movie era, I believe. So last year, maybe. Crazy psycho trans cultist Zizians murdered a border patrol agent earlier this year.
Yeah.
And a Vermont judge is refusing to delay the death penalty decision for the Zizian charged in the border agent's death. Chief Judge Christina Rice denied a motion from Teresa Youngblood, 21, who's accused of opening fire on Agent David Mayland during the traffic stop. Now it's unclear if Teresa is a woman or a man, but I'm gonna just throw the dice and say that's a man with a woman name. Youngblood, who is part of the cult-like group of Zizians, has been connected to 6 killings in 3 states. This dude's a serial killer. Facing a July 28th deadline to explain why prosecutors should not seek the death penalty, even though she is yet to be charged with a crime eligible for such a punishment. So, are we gonna eventually close the book culturally on crazy trans cult stuff? Like, do you think we're ever gonna get there, or is it gonna be like, oh, that's just the crazy people? Like, you guys are all crazy.
I don't know.
I wonder. This story seems to be kind of relegated to the back section of the newspaper. Like, it's not headlines that trans cultist is hasn't even been charged for the murder yet. But it doesn't seem to be in the news cycle anymore. So this may just get processed, and this one person gets charged for this one crime, and then it doesn't have an impact larger than that.
It's easy to bury stories, JJ.
That's what I'm saying.
Easy when you have people from the CIA working for you. Hey, I've got one for you. This is this one was interesting. This is from Lawrence County, Tennessee. All right, just one county in Tennessee. It's one county's school system says that a doctor's note is no longer an excuse for absences in this Tennessee school district. They said, we are going to take charge of our school district's absences, and it doesn't matter if you've got the sniffles, you better come to school because you have to do it when you come to work, is what they said. This school district, you can fail the grade. Director of Schools Michael Adkins said during the district's June school board meeting. You can fail the course. You're going to be petitioned to court. You're not going to participate in graduation or get your driver's license or permit. We're also going to take control of attendance of our students. You can bring all the doctor's notes you want, but it's still unexcused. If you have the sniffles, that's fine. You're going to have them when you go to work one day. We all have to go to work sick, hurt, and beat up. So, and then it also said that if your child gets sent home from school by the nurse, your child will be marked as tardy. If the child goes to the school sick and the school nurse sends that child home, Adkins said, that child will be marked tardy. What do you, as a parent?
Hold on just a second. I got.
Love you, bye.
Oh, you okay? We got. Bye, darling. You take it? Are you taking that? It's fine. You can take that.
I love you. See you about.
Bye, darling. Oh, okay. In an hour? You mean like in 8 hours? Oh, yeah. Is that right? What do I owe you? I owe you a hug.
Yeah.
You want to say hi to Uncle Andy here?
Hi, Andy.
Hello. How are you?
He said hi. Now you're just staring. Are you staring at yourself?
No, I'm staring at Deacon. I know what is he doing.
Oh, he's doing a funny face. Okay.
And what's Andrew?
Andrew.
All right. I love you. Go have a good time.
Who's that guy?
This is Hellboy. I have Hellboy on my microphone.
That's pretty cool.
But it's looking like, why is he hanging?
Well, he's just holding on.
Why is he
Does Deke
hanging
know
up?
that was in our wedding?
No.
Nope, he doesn't.
Now he does.
He's gonna find out, I guess.
I
Looked it up. The version was in LT, New Living Translation. It wasn't the Message, and it was the same version I bought when I was a new believer. In LT, New Living Translation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, I guess we're gonna get to meet Ozzy Osbourne someday. That's pretty awesome.
That's the one that.
Awesome.
That's the one that I had. So, what do you think about this? About your kids? I mean, let's say one of your kids has a chronic disorder and disease that flares up. Let's say they have a mild form of MS, and the MS flares up from time to time.
Right.
It's not obvious that they have MS, like some of the more extreme cases, but maybe there's some cases where mornings where they wake up and the whole freaking left side of their body is drooping down and not cooperating and stuff like that. So I mean, the parents are going to, you as parents are going to be petitioned to go to court.
That's true. And I guess you have like some dimensions of complexity there because one, he's a principal of a public school, right? So there's superintendent, there's a board, there is a election, there's requirements from the state for funding, etc. And if you enroll your kids in public school, you implicitly agree to whatever those public conditions are. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying it sounds wrong, but you kind of, you're going to a public school, you're buying into whatever their restrictions are, unless you can.
You don't have any other choice. And that is one of the things in Kentucky that we tried to vote for, and it got struck down because of all the negative ads. And most everybody, I've had arguments with a lot of my friends who were brainwashed by this stupid thing. They didn't get all the facts. And it was basically, Kentucky tried to pass a law that it was your kid, you have two kids, and by the state's law, they're worth this much amount of money in the school system. Right. And if you don't like the public school system, you want to put your child in this private school because of all this bull crap that goes on in the public school systems, then that state federal money follows your child to whatever school you have a choice of. But they branded this thing as the rich people trying to get a break and all this crap, and it got voted down. And all it was that it allowed public schools to continue to get all the state and federal money no matter, and you don't have, if you do, you have the illusion of a choice like we have over here in America. You have the illusion of a choice. You can go to a private school if you want, but it's going to cost you a lot more money. It's going to cost you a lot of money, or it's going to cost you a nickel and a dime to put them over here in the public school.
So I just checked, in Kentucky, your state does not have charter schools. So in Texas, we have the public school system funded by the state, and there's private schools, obviously, but we also have charter schools that are independently owned and operated. They're way more efficient, and they do get
federal money and state money.
They get state funding, and they are the one my kids go to. It's a lottery to get in,
right?
But once you're in, you can stay in throughout the entire thing.
That looks like that would promote better hiring of teachers and a better curriculum and standard, because if there's a freaking lottery to get in, then that means that that's a good school.
It is. Having had my kids in both public school and to the charter school, and having been in public school myself, the teachers are better. My kids are getting a superior education because they're in a charter school. And that's good for society broadly, because when there is only a public school option, then what you have are all the pressures and all of the incentives to excel. The incentives to excel are gone, and all of the pressures, like too many kids, not enough teachers, you cannot attract the best talent.
That's the problem is
Economics.
there's not enough good teachers, and they're trying to churn these people out like they do nurses, you know,
No,
and
no.
this is what
Not-
I was
It's
well,
not that there's not enough good teachers. There's bad administration, and they don't fire bad teachers.
I don't well, and that is very true, but there's not enough good teachers because if you think about I was thinking about this the other day and I was like cuz they on Facebook it's like here congratulations to these 4 or 5 new teachers in the school system this year, and it's got a little picture and it tells about them, and I was sitting there looking and it's like, you know, Amanda is 24 and she's going to be teaching, you know, freshmen, and Susie is 23 and she's at the middle school. And I'm like, I had the thought of, does a 24-year-old really need to be teaching anyone anything? You know, would you trust your 24-year-old self to teach your children?
I mean,
About math and reading and writing and history? Would you trust your 25-year-old self, you, Jason? 25-year-old Jason?
no, me, absolutely not. My 25-year-old me was complete and utter idiot. Like, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Okay, so let me just give this one piece of the problem, right?
All right.
Public school. We have public school. We have 800 students. You have however many, 30 kids per class, right? You got let's say there's 150 kindergartners. So you got like 5 kindergarten teachers, and each one has 30 students. And one of those kindergarten teachers is bad. And not only bad, but maybe verbally abusive or even physically abusive,
or has a bad marriage and takes it out on the kids, or
has a drinking problem.
Has a drinking problem.
So you have, let's just say you have one bad teacher, and as the administration, the right thing to do should be suspend that teacher, get rid of them, fire them. But the reality is, you can't just fire the teacher because nobody's watching the kids. Nobody's teaching the kids. And you can't just hire another teacher because you don't have the funds. You spent it all. All of your funding is, and the state won't give us money, and boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Yeah. So this is the problem in the public schools, is that they are not flexible enough to be efficient with the money they have, and they are too large to actually solve their own problems.
And I have always hated the concept of tenure. I think that is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well,
you should not have
schools.
That's just a stupid concept. Just because you've worked here for 20 years or however long it is, now you can't get fired unless you do something really, really bad. No, that's not an incentive. My son has has had the worst music teacher in the history of music teachers. And there's nothing we can do about this guy. We have talked to the principal several times. We've talked to the board. Nothing's going to be done because he's worked there for 30 years. So I can't wait until my kids are done with school. The school systems, even in small towns, are so corrupt. So corrupt.
So you guys in Kentucky were not able to do charter school, or haven't had the ability yet, or you haven't been able to pass it. And let's see, this story was about Tennessee. How many inns are in Tennessee? Tennessee has 100
17.
charter schools. So, and yet you have this one principal that thinks he can make health decisions for children.
Yeah, this is Lawrence County, and I think that's on the southern part of Tennessee by like the Alabama or Mississippi border.
Well, parents of Lawrence County, the school board meeting is how you go get that principal fired. That's how you.
You can try. You can try. You know what happens at the school board meetings in small towns? Everybody that's elected to the school board meetings is cousins and friends and brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws with everybody else, and the law enforcement and everybody else. So when you go in there and you try to say something that they don't like, well, you get harassed and your family gets harassed, and y'all get, why is this cop car driving by my house 15 times in one day? Well, maybe because you should have kept your fucking mouth shut at the school board meeting, because that's so-and-so's brother-in-law. That's the deputy. I'm
Yeah.
serious. I'm
You're
not
not-
even.
yeah,
making this up.
you're
This
right.
is
You got
really
some
how it
small.
happened.
You got some small place like political dynamics as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what happens.
All right. Let's see. I got Deke, I was telling you about this before the show started. USAID has conducted an internal review of 156 cases involving the disappearance or misappropriation of humanitarian aid financed by the United States in Gaza from 2023 to 2024. And Deacon, they found no evidence whatsoever that Hamas was systemically involved or stole that stuff. So they are in the clear. USAID has cleared themselves of any wrongdoing. So isn't that good news? I was worried that we were accidentally funding criminals and terrorists, but no, we're good.
Sweet. All right, next.
All right, I got some bad news for you. When was the last time that you watched E-News? E''News. E!'News.
It's 8:37 right now, and we started the show at 8. So I mean 7:58, 7:59.
Oh, you were watching it this morning?
Absolutely, I watched it. It's on my homepage.
Okay, wow.
I don't
you
know.
said it's 8:37. I haven't seen it since 1997.
Years, and the last time I actually watched E!'News was because that I was flipping through the channels and my ass started itching when I stopped on that channel, so I put down the remote and scratched my butt. So that's the last time.
Would it be unfair for me to suggest that I think John Tesh was playing piano at the beginning of this show? Or some point on the show. E!News.
It wasn't John Tesh. That was Chuck Mangione.
Oh, okay. E!News is going to end this year after 3 decades on television. Oh no!
Wait. I've got this. Where's it at? Oh, I wish I would have known this was coming up.
This is how we used to get trailers for movies, dude. We got breaking entertainment news on E!News.
Oh, I wish you would have told me that you had this. I was going to get our sad bed. And I don't know where it's at now. I can't. Oh! I don't know.
That's best
I'll
I
move
can do.
everything around.
So the show will continue online, but will no longer be available as a linear TV show, according to sources with knowledge of the decision. The current hosts that you don't know have not commented on the show's cancellation, and it follows Stephen Colbert's announcement regarding the late show with who cares about Stephen Colbert. So E!News is going to YouTube, I guess, and then it will be lost on YouTube. So that is, you put that right in the bucket with Movie Phone. We used to have Movie Phone. That's how we knew what time movies were.
It's kind of sad, isn't it? It's sad to hear about Stephen Colbert, though. Don't you think so? Because he's such a piece of shit.
No, I don't care about Stephen Colbert. I don't care. He wants to believe whatever he wants to believe, and he wants to be on CBS. Paid that dude millions of dollars to tell people stuff, and I didn't watch it. I know you didn't watch it. I don't know who watched it, but if the people that believed what he believes watched his show, he would still have a show. So, whose fault is that really? We still have a show. Nobody's canceling us.
That's because we have Do Good. Damn it, Do Good. If you stop watching the show, we're gonna get canceled.
That's right.
You the man.
Okay.
I saw that, and I saw where other people were like hoping Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon, all of them are next and whatnot. But honestly, I mean, who watches that crap anymore? I mean, nobody listens to the radio. They don't watch TV. They don't watch that crap anymore. They were trying to stay alive by getting clips of the show and putting them on YouTube and stuff and Facebook Reels to where you see 60 seconds of it, and they make a little bit of money from there. But and then what you're going to hear of the obvious freaking all of the people and the writers and the people that worked on the set are all losing their jobs. Well, you know what? Life sucks, and there's other fucking stuff to do.
You can't
You
compete.
know, maybe try to freaking tell the host and not work for a show that is a complete biased piece of crap that only caters to a very small audience.
Who cares about Colbert? I'm talking about E! News, man. E! News.
Same thing.
The entire linear TV market can't compete.
There's a very small group of people that watched that shit in the 2000s. They tried to make it like it was the biggest stuff in the world. What is Kim K wear? What did she wear to the grocery store? Nobody gives a crap, but like people from 28 and below that live in cities. You know? I'll try my best, guys.
All right. So
JJ froze. He's now frozen. I don't know what happened to JJ. Did I freeze or did he freeze? I have not done anything over here. Oh, we're just going to sit through it. And he froze. Definitely. It was him. Let's see if that wasn't him. I don't think. All right. So let me give you, before we get back to whatever he was saying when he joins, let me give you the story that I was going to bring up. This comes straight from our producer, Brian Perkins. This is funny. I liked this story. I want JJ to participate in the story, but I bet you I know what happened. I think he hit his power off button on his computer because it's like right up there near like his mute button or something. It's very strategically placed. Anyway, Brian posted this from X. Gas cans used to pour gas. Now they just dribble like a child's sippy cup. The EPA recently got a message. The Office of Air and Radiation sent a message to the manufacturers of portable fuel containers. And you might think, what? Portable fuel? Gas containers. Over the past 20 years, gas containers in America have changed due to Environmental Protection Agency regulations. And the damn things don't pour gas. You've got to freaking hold it with your hand and click this and hold this button and do this to try to get it to just dribble out to the point that we have cut the end of it to create a hole and have a wooden stopper that goes into my gas can. My dad goes around to these auctions and stuff for these house auctions. And if they've got an old gas can, a pre-1990s gas can for sale, he will buy it. They're like $4, $5, $10 or something like that. He buys them. He's got like 15 or 16 of them in his garage of these old gas cans that just pour gas. They're not these new ones that have all this stupid safety crap on it. So I thought this was interesting. It's just kind of an ancillary thing. And some people that don't use those would be like, what? But I'd be like, man, this is something we have complained about for literally 20 years because we're constantly, you live in the country, you're going to use a gas can at some point to fill up something with some gas. So, hey, Deke, if nobody listens to the radio anymore, I hope they won't cancel you. I hope not, dude. It's hard. People really don't listen to the radio. And I've had this conversation many times with people. I try to find incentives for people to listen to the radio, to try not to be a robot and try to be a real person on the radio and talk to little dude back here. Little dude's on the radio more than I am. See him? He's looking at something. So, radio just needs personality. Our only thing to sell used to be music, basically. You know, we sell air, you know, that we can play. We play music and we get people to listen to our music because we pay regulations and, you know, fees and stuff to regulate on the public airwaves. You could too. You just have to file all the paperwork and get it approved. We did. And now because we have a bunch of people listening, we can be like, hey, we got a bunch of people that listen to our station. Do you want to sell your doodads with us and we can run a spot? And that's how we make our money. You know, we sell air. People's like, how do you make your money in radio? We sell air. We sell air. That's what we do. But now people don't just have radio as a main choice for music. So over the past 20 years, even less than that, we have had to like really kind of look at our model that's worked perfectly for 70 years. It's worked beautifully since like the 1930s. No need to change. Everything works perfectly. And then the fucking internet comes along and music streaming, and we're like, oh shit. Our product is not as exclusive anymore. We can't just throw music at them. And this is my argument. I'm like, we can't just throw music at them. We got to be local. You got to have higher personalities that have people that have a personality, and not just like, coming up this Friday is the fish fry at the Masonic Lodge. Plates are $10. All you can eat, 5 to 7. I don't want that. I want somebody that's going to be like, hey, y'all want some good old fish? Man, they're going to be cooking it up out at the Masonic Fish Fry coming up this Friday. Me and little buddy's going to go out there. He eats 5 plates just by himself. They have to charge us extra. You know, just bull crapping and adding. I don't know if he's coming back. I'm going to end the show. Let me check Discord. He hasn't said anything on Discord. So, all right. I know that's the problem. That's yep. That's another problem that I've heard people say they're tired of hearing the same music over and over. That is what I used to argue with my program director. When I worked on the classic rock station, I would walk in, I would raise up my pant leg, and I would be like, yo, I've got a full leg tattoo of Pink Floyd on my leg. And did you know they had more than 3 songs? And they would always say, we only play the hits. Like, if you only play the hits, then you need to take off every Led Zeppelin song from your library. You know, you don't, like fried fish, man. It's good stuff. So that's what I do over here on my country station is I play these songs. I mean, you've heard all these different like George Jones songs a million times. Well, he had like 70 fucking records, and that's a lot of music. So I'm going to play this other one that's really good. You ain't never heard before. All right. I'm going to go fix me some bacon. JJ's not coming back. I hope you all have a wonderful Friday. I don't have a joke. We're just going to end. I don't know what happened. So do good. Much love to you. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll see y'all next time.